on a positive note, I think our defense played very, very well. I thought we were able to, defend for the entire game, with the exception of rebounding, but I do think we were able to defend the entire game. I think in the second half they had three plays where they had second chance points with an N1. And so that obviously is something we have to continue to work on. But I thought defensively we played just about all man-to-man. I thought we did a pretty good job. Offensively, I thought we were very choppy, and I thought we got a little bit stagnant against their zone, which a zone does that to you. But our passing and our sense for the game should allow us to be better than that. Whether you make the shots or don't, it should have a better feel and a better flow to it. I thought we only had a few good possessions in the first half. So we're looking forward to Thanksgiving in New York and playing on Friday night in Brooklyn.
What would you learn in this four-game stretch?
Just that I do think we've shown some grit and some toughness, John, and I think we've shown that we can defend and get better at that. But also that we need a lot of work. We need to play. We need to scrimmage and practice. We need long sessions in practice where both teams are playing against one another, whether that be half court or full court. I just think we're just a little choppy, and I think there are times when we found a rhythm in all four of the games, but they certainly haven't been at the beginning of the game, and they haven't lasted quite long enough. But I do think defensively, we have something to build on, and have some guys in there that will compete.
Coach, you touched on it briefly, but just seemed like the zone kind of took everything out of flow in the first half.
Yeah, definitely. I think that and Chandre being in foul trouble, that really had us, just not moving the ball crisply and finding open spots. We're always trying to get 2-point shots against the zone, and I think we just settled for threes. Again, we have guys who can shoot, so they feel like shooting a three is what's important or what's needed, and they're not necessarily wrong, but in those situations, just better ball movement, more of an attacking style would be better.
Coach, I think 3 out of the 4 games you started a little bit more slowly than you probably would have liked. How much of an emphasis will that be over the next couple of days, and how important is it to get that going with 2 big opponents coming up?
Yeah, that's a huge emphasis for us, and I can't explain why. We don't start any freshmen right now, so we should be a little bit better out of the gates. Again, the hard part is you can't control the making of shots or not. You can't really control that. And today, even though we started slowly, we were really, we were holding Hampton, so it was 7-5, I think, with like 10 minutes to go. So that part's positive, but we need to be able to get out and move and just create, the climate of the game that we're moving all over the place and the ball's zipping around. That's when we're at our best.
I know that this is kind of a getaway day because you're traveling and it's the holiday and everything, but is it anything to do with the noon game, the reason neither offense looked great out there?
I guess it could be that, but I wouldn't say that. I thought we were ready and loose, and anything you would, any word you would want to describe. I think we were those things. We have a fair amount of games that are early this year, at noon, 12:30, 1 o'clock. So I think it's good for us to play it. But I don't really think that was the issue. Although I would be, looking for that as we came into the game. But I don't think that's what it was.
Chandre was more of a complimentary piece today, but what do you need from him? What have you got from him? What do you need from him moving forward?
Yeah, so everything, and that's the hard part. That's where so much responsibility is on our older players, because he's a scorer, but he's also has an incredibly good feel for the game. He's savvy. We certainly don't need him to have foul trouble. That would be the number one thing, and he has to really help other guys be good players. So. So many things are thrown his way that he has, he's unbelievably coachable. And he has a great way of understanding what's being said. But there is a lot on him to not only for himself, but to distribute to other guys so that we can be better.
Coach, outside of the outcome, what do you hope to see from your team in these 2 games up in New York?
I would just say, grit and toughness. I think that last year, in the early season, we had some really good wins. Northern Iowa and Cal, But what I think for us to be consistently good is to have that toughness. You know, I do think there'll be a game this year where we make 14 or 15 threes, and naturally you feel pretty good about that game, or if we do that 2 or 3 times. But we need to have games where we don't shoot well, where we don't execute perfectly, where we are a little bit outsized or outmanned and still play because we have that grittiness and toughness. And, you know, so it's nice we're going to see Kenny Atkinson because I think he really personified that. And, but that's what we'd like to see.
Can you get a sense from your guys just how much they like to take on the Power Fives, kind of best teams in the country?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, that's, you know, something that has been established at Richmond for a long time, and we're really proud of how we've played against ranked teams and FBS teams. So I think that there, you know, everybody gets excited when you have a great recognition of the opponent. But it's going to come down to the same things, you know, executing, being tough, being able to get a loose ball. So, but I do think the guys are excited.
How much do you and Keith and whoever else is involved with the scheduling put an emphasis on these neutral court type tournaments or neutral site games with other schools in Power 5 conference?
Yeah, very much so. I'd say it's probably I'd say it's the first thing that we look for. We want to be able to, you know, we're always trying to play as many of the high major teams as we can. And when you can play on a neutral floor, that's really great. And, you know, this year we happen to have Wake and Texas Tech at home. So I think that's probably the number one thing we're looking for is if we can play the best teams we possibly can on a neutral floor.
Coach Mooney, do you have plans to meet up with Coach Atkinson?
We're going to try to. We're going to go to the game, and hopefully I'll see him after the game. I think we're going to work out possibly around. They might be taking off after their Wednesday game, but I think we're going to work out. But we're going to try to.